out. What up, y'all? Welcome back to another segment of the Monday Night Crew. Like, for real, this is truly the only spot you get authenticity and entertainment at the same time. It's your boy Kdot Mims. I got DJ J Dub, Brittany, Princess Asia, my boy Louis B. We back at it, man. So we're gonna start this episode off real deep, real transparent. I'm gonna ask a question, and I really want y'all to go there. Okay, I wrote this shit down. You understand me? So for my married people, this is the question, and then for my single people, this is the question. Married people, what hard part about marriage that if you were single, you wouldn't have to deal with? Single people, what do you think is the biggest sacrifice that you will have to make when you get married? So I'm gonna ask the question again. So for my married folks, what is a hard part about marriage that if you were single, you wouldn't have to deal with? And for single people, what do you think is the biggest sacrifice you will make when you get married? Now, let me give a disclaimer. This is not to say that marriage is bad. This is not to say that marriage doesn't work. This is not to say that marriage is a negative thing. But what I also do want to bring light to is that marriage is still a work in progress. Like there are things that you have to get outside of yourself on in order to do. So I felt like this question was a good opportunity for us to be kind of real. Like we always talk about the aspect of, oh, what a married person would do, what a single person would do, but we never talk about from the aspect of like what parts of marriage that like we don't talk about that's really hard for real, that like you really wouldn't have to deal with if you were single. And from the single end, like what is something that you know that you may not be willing to sacrifice now that you know you got to sacrifice when you get into a marriage? Does that make sense, y'all?
It does.
And I'm gonna go first, excluding my kids, because I'm not married to my kids. I'm married to my wife. This don't have nothing to do with my babies. I'll go first to kind of be to lead the way on that transparency. So, like for me, I think the hardest part, bro, is like Brittany, I love you. Brittany, I love you. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is, I think the hardest part is like trying to lead and control a brain that you can't control. Like you do all the things, you lead somebody, you try to put them in the right position that you believe see fit, and like you can't really control how another human feels. You can't control their experiences. You can't control their day-to-day. You can't control those things. And no matter how much happiness I want to bring, it's really not up to me. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to be able to be the person. And if you were not married to somebody, you don't have a responsibility to be good for somebody else. You understand what I'm saying? So this is speaking from a husband's perspective. Like for me, the hardest parts about marriage is when you know your wife is hurting and there's nothing you could do. Like you want to change those things about. So when I say that, like when I say control the brain, I don't mean make her do what I want. I want her to feel how I feel about her, but I can't do nothing about that. When you go through a situation where it's like, I'm not even gonna use postpartum, where you see a rough day or you see a rough out, and you like, yo, baby, go get your nails done, go chill out, and she come back and she's still feeling whatever she's feeling, because at the end of the day, no matter what I do, I can't control how she really feel about what's going on for her. Yeah. It's not my world. It's not my life. And I think a lot of times in marriage where we've been dealt this, oh, we're one. We are one, but it's two motherfuckers in this one. You understand what I'm saying? And a lot of times I think when people say marriage is hard, it ain't being committed. I think marriage is hard when like, you know, the person beside you not okay. And you got to go to sleep and know that there's nothing you could do besides be there. And I think if I were single, I don't want to call, it's not a burden, but I feel like because I love that person, it's like if you sing, you ain't got to really worry about said person over there. You care about them, but you ain't got to worry about them. Does that make sense, y'all? So I just kind of want to open up the floor. That's my thing. I think my thing is controlling from the point of it's like intent versus impact. You want your wife to feel the happiness that you mean for her to feel in all your actions, but you really can't control that. That's gonna be my spiel. So single people or married people can pick up on that conversation. I ain't go too deep in the beginning, did I, Bo?
No, it was smooth.
All right. Who want to pick it up?
I'll go.
All right, talk to me.
I have two things, right? One I would say is figuring out what to eat for dinner sucks for a family.
Oh my God.
It sucks. Like literally Monday through Sunday, it sucks. I don't think there's a time where I'm like, ooh, I know what I'm gonna make and I'm excited about it. Like, nah. When you're single, whatever you eat, right? You only got to worry about yourself. There are even times, and I have children too, so there are times where like me and my husband are okay, or I'll be like, yo, can you feed for yourself tonight? But the kids they have to eat. So
For sure.
that very much, I absolutely hate it. Like, I'll be the first to say that I hate that part of having a family is trying to figure out what to eat for dinner. The other part, the more serious part, is coexisting and adaptability. I
For sure, that's
think
real.
coexisting in a space with someone, right, that thinks very different than you do, and then trying to adapt or adjust to their lifestyle, but also trying to implement your own is can be very challenging. And that's where communication comes in. Y'all may talk all you want to. People say, "Oh, just talk it out. Just talk about these things." That still doesn't change the fact that like my sorry, Mike, like you did for Brittany. Sorry, Mike, but he has OCD. I'm gonna just be real. The man has OCD. He likes things the way he likes them, how he likes them. He's clean. He's just a very that's him, right? Nothing can be moved out of place. But when you're adjusting, you have kids. I don't clean up behind them right away, or I don't put things certain. And he goes back and he does it, So there's little things that irk my nerve that I have to find myself picking and choosing, like when to pick and choose your battles. And for him, it's the same thing because I know he gets irritated with me about certain things. But that's the part about adapting, adjusting, and coexisting in the same space. It can be very, very challenging. It's literally a day-to-day thing that you're consistently growing.
Who want to stab at it next?
I can speak from it from a married perspective because I was married and from a single. So the marriage perspective was number one, definitely what you said, Brittany. The feedback
That
of
East do be hard, bro. I'm like, yo.
Hey,
like,
yo, it's like what? Because I mean, you got so many different taste buds and everything, and like you said, when you single,
Hey, this
I
nigga just
realize
say
that
you got
now.
so many different taste buds. Did anybody else hear that?
I did. You know what I meant, man. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
But
Joe, I had to get you back for last episode. My bad,
you
bro.
did, but hey, that was a good one too. I'm not gonna lie. But like for me, I love fried fish. I can motherfucking eat fried fish every day. I just love fish. I can eat fried fish, baked fish. I really love fish. So, but then it's like I know I couldn't do that, when I was married. But on a serious tip, just to go with the coexisting part, when you are in a committed relationship and things of those natures, you have to figure out when you can't help that partner. Like Keena was saying, you got to figure out ways to not lose yourself in those moments.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing because when somebody loves somebody, you try your best to overcompensate a lot of times. But what you don't realize is it's just you can't fix everything. So I think me in that moment just being more understanding and realizing like, okay, you know what? This is time for me to work on myself to better this situation. Because sometimes we always look at the other person, we never look within and realize that okay, maybe I'm feeling this type of way in a certain situation, or I'm not feeling like I'm getting something, but in reality, I'm not giving myself that thing. So it's putting the pressure on the other person. When in actuality, I really need to dig deep inside myself to um basically, see that it's things that I can work on myself. From a single perspective, though, it's just like the
So AJ, so what would be the biggest thing knowing being married before and now being single? Being married before and now being single, what do you think the biggest sacrifice you would have to do if you ever got remarried? Now that you have that knowledge of both worlds, kind of like, what do you think the biggest sacrifice would be?
I'm gonna be honest, but this might sound cocky. I don't think it would be a big sacrifice because marriage is not hard to me. You know what I mean? Like commitment is not hard. So I think it would just be a transitional stage because I'm getting to a point to where you enjoying your freedom and you have certain things the way you are. This might be an unpopular opinion though. I think that, and this might sound weird. I think that if I did get married again though, I'd rather do it and just stay in separate places, like not just stay in the same house. I'll be cool with being married and just having two places.
Yo, got you.
And I mean, that may not be everybody. I mean, that's my personal opinion.
Nah, that's what's up. Yeah,
All the time?
Huh?
Monday through Sunday?
Nah, I'm gonna see you on Saturday.
my nigga. Hey, Jay. Hey, bro. Hey, nah, that's real. That's real. Hey, I got a question though, and answer it if you don't want to, because you put so many years in. You know what I'm saying, and now you're single. Do you and being young still? Do you envision that being something you want again, or is it like you've experienced enough to know, like, okay, cool?
No, it's definitely something I want again.
Mm-hmm.
And I am young,
Mm-hmm.
and I've always been big on that because the way my family grew up and that dynamic. Like my mom was married for a whole lot of years, but she was in a toxic, unhealthy relationship. But I've always aspired to just have a family. Like so that drives me. I would definitely remarry for sure.
Okay.
I ain't having no more damn kids though.
hey, people would say that. So I said that shit too, bro. I'm like, I went from 98% not having them to 97. So shit does change.
Yeah, you right. I'm gonna get a son. You right. My bad.
Lewis, Princess, or Asia? I really want to hear yours, Lewis. No funny, true trans. I would love to hear, like, what part of being a husband that's kind of you know the question. Do I need to repeat the question? Do you?
No. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, bro.
Yeah.
All right. So y'all being nice. I get tired of fucking dealing with the petty shit. You know what I mean? I'm fully conformed as a married man. I'm the married guy. But man, I just some days I don't want to hear that shit, man. Like some days I'm just like, all right, I'm out. I don't want to just hear complaining and shit all the time. Like stuff like that. You know what I mean? I like my shit where I left it. You know, don't be moving, touching my stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. I could do without.
You know what's crazy, bro? I say this though, I don't really deal with that. Like, don't you have your own area in the house though?
Exactly. But then I have my own house.
The
whole thing.
I don't feel like, but real nigga shit. Let's go back to a conversation we had previously. Like, I ain't bought a house for me. I just need my little area, like the house for her.
Yeah, I feel you. Listen, man, I would pick being married over being single any day because when I was single, especially the time I was
trying to figure out where to put it.
Yo, you wild, man. You wild for that. Oh man.
So
you do this shit all the time.
So it was when like being single is like the highest of highs and the lows of lows. Marriage is for me, marriage is steady.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? And the companionship, the friend, we are multiple things. We're roommates, we're parents, we're friends, we're lovers, we're a lot of different things. You know what I mean? And when you're single, you have to almost kind of find different people to fit those roles. And I consistently get that from my wife. So I will say that. But for me, it's just like the petty things that really don't matter at the end of the day. It's just kind of like preferences and how I choose to go about my day to day. And you know, like I see the like videos all the time, like, oh, I went to lunch by myself and only spent $10 as opposed to spending 60. You know, when I take, you know what I mean? Those are the things that, you know, like, yeah, it's like, all right, I would like to go out and not have to spend $100 when everybody's together, but
that's real shit.
I'll take that over what the alternative is, because again, I feel like, and I have a brother that I've lived vicariously through, you know, a little bit. And, I've just seen the ebbs and flows. Being single, it again, it's the highest of highs, but it's also the lowest of lows at times.
Princess. Just to ask you a question, Lewis. Yeah. When you said that it's petty, right? As far as you know, you put your shit where it is, you want it to be there, right? Yes. Is it because your wife is picking it up, or is she telling you to pick the stuff up that makes it petty?
He asking if you
nasty.
Now.
What you think you telling me something? Nigga, Jay, come on now. Come on, man. Ain't nobody telling me nothing. All right.
Okay. My bad. I forgot you tell your women not to work. My bad.
I'm gonna tell you, man. So here's the thing, man. I'm gonna be real. Like, I feel like the most arguments we have, or debates, heated debates, I will say, is off of really like the roommate stuff. Like kind of how I look at this and how she may look at that. What I may view as a priority that maybe, you know, I would like to see done. I can do it myself, but I'm probably gonna be upset that I had to do it. You know what I mean? My way, like those are, but they're very. It's like very minimal, man. It's very minimal.
Yeah, my thing. So if you want to be real like that, I just don't like selective fucking memory. That's what pisses me off. That shit makes me mad if we picking stuff like that. Like what? You can remember fucking October 2014, but what I told you yesterday is like null and void.
And she remembered that. She just don't care. That's
exactly. But I'm sorry, Princess Asia.
I feel like the whole
I ain't gonna lie, Princess. I'm willing to hear this sacrifice. Well, I'm ready to hear this.
It come with a flight, Bo.
I can't wait to hear this sacrifice. What you sacrificing, girl? Tell him, girl.
Honestly, I for one, I thought about food. Because like having to make sure that everybody eats, like especially when you add on kids, like even now, like with me dating, even just sometimes like like trying to figure out what both of us gonna eat. It's like, dang, like what you want to eat, and then you add on kids. It's like, damn, like like,
yep.
Am I ready for that? It's just like, damn, like that's one thing you got to give up. And then I also thought about just being able to come and go when I please and not have to worry about how it affects anybody else. Like right now, like I'm traveling, I'm going to concerts, I'm pretty much doing everything that I want to do, even down to my job. Like I travel for work. I don't have to worry about like other people, like childcare and stuff, like making sure I have someone, making sure like if I'm married or whatever, making sure my husband's schedule, coincides with daycare, school, pickup, drop off whenever I'm away, like all that. I don't have to worry about that. If someone asked me if I could go somewhere for work, I could just pick up and go. But if I'm not single and I'm married or with kids or whatever, like all that just has to change.
So, Princess, can I ask a very real question, a very honest question? I really want to know. I'm not being funny. Do you feel like the more, I remember a couple episodes back, you spoke on like how you saw your friends do certain things. And you was like, that's not where you're at in life, right? You were like, you see certain things and you were like, I don't want that for me right now, right? Do you feel like the longer time goes on, I don't want to say yearn for it more. The more the time goes on, does your vision begin to change around if you want things that you used to think you wanted versus, or does it grow to want it more? So like when I hear you say the things you're saying, like the more freedom do you get, do you feel like it will become a time where you're like, oh, you know what? Okay, I'm good now. Or do you feel like the more freedom, it kind of expands your brain to like, you know what? I don't want to stop moving like this. And I'm really just asking for real out of like complete curiosity.
No, I feel like I'll get to a point where it's like, okay, I'm definitely, ready, or I have to take the steps to prepare for it. As far as like what other people are experiencing, that more so is showing me what I don't want. Like even though they have kids or whatever, it's showing me the situation that I don't want to be in with kids. So if anything, it's having me prolong it more.
Got you. Yeah, absolute respect. Asia?
But before Asia gives her insight, I feel like I just want to point out that the common denominator here is kids. I feel like these responses would be very different, right? Because I hear Princess saying freedom. I heard Jay say like, oh, kind of I'm enjoying freedom, but I miss this, right? You can be in a marriage and still have freedom to a certain extent, or your friend, like Lewis was talking about, like your best friend, homie, lover, friend type situation. Okay, Bay is traveling with me. We're going to see the world. But when you have kids, boy, you can't do any of those things anymore.
Can't do shit.
Yo, so like, let me push back a little bit. So like,
I'm hold on. Let me add to that too, Brittany.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I can preface it because I agree with you. When I was married, I was very happy, and I had freedom too.
Can I just say I fuck with y'all, man? Go ahead, bro. I love this shit, man. I really do.
I had freedom when I was married. You get what I'm saying? But like you said, with them kids, and like Princess just said, If you want to pick up and go somewhere, it's like, shit, we got to find a babysitter. Damn, we got to sit here and figure out. Then you got to sit here. If you only going, like if I'm going on a God's trip, I got to make sure my wife is straight and got everything taken care of at the crib with the kids before I go on that trip.
Hey Jay, but when we get on that trip, what's happening though?
Oh shit, yeah. See, you are boy.
Hey, you can't have too much fun. You can't have too much fun without your wife now.
Shit,
that was
me.
good. That was a good one, boy. Y'all
Hey,
almost
Jay, all right, let me stop. Let me mute.
You can't have too much fun without her. Just
Yeah, no, we're gonna pray.
I agree with you, Brett. Yeah, you can definitely do that with without having kids. Even down to like me traveling for work. People be bringing their spouses, if they want to. Like if there's a conference or something and it's in a pretty cool city or whatever. Like for instance, I just had a work trip to Chicago a couple weeks ago. There was people who brought their spouses.
Facts, Chicago.
Yeah, it was people who brought their spouses, and it's just like, okay, like my spouse can come. The hotel's already paid for, and they could do that. But if you had kids,
you can't move this
at home. Both of y'all can't be there.
Let me speak to this. Let me speak to this. And I don't know if this is relatable to my two bros. Absolutely love y'all. Mm-hmm. I also would say this, and I'm gonna push back a little bit, Brittany, because I'm not sure how it happened for you specifically. So, like me and my wife had 8 years with just us, and we was tearing the city, the United States, the East Coast, West Coast up. You know what I'm saying? So like now when I'm gonna give you like real transparency, like the other week, this gonna sound like some real like fatherly stuff. Bro, my son came on a photo shoot with me. And the feeling I felt was like, damn, like, cause I don't have the same desires anymore to do certain things, right? But like when Jay talks about those guys trip, we gonna do that. That's just me and my bros fellowship. That's what we do in order to stay who we are. But like, I also think in the same note that Brittany's talking about, it's also very important of how that rolls out. And Asia, we're gonna get to you. Let me acknowledge that, Asia. I haven't forgot about you.
Yeah, I agree, Keena.
Like it's a very like and let me give my timeline. Moved in 2023, got married that same year. I didn't have my son till 2020. You know what I'm saying? But so like we were in DC, figuring out DC, being able to travel. So I also think those bonds and those times allow us to have a little less urge to move crazy when we had them. We like, oh shit, we're like, we chilling now. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but
go ahead.
So you got married. So something to consider is that you got married at an early age too.
For sure.
Not even about the time that you all have been married, but your age plays a role in that too. Because for my friends that are single, right, that want to get married now, and it's hard for me to tell them, oh, enjoy your husband, when they're like 33, 34, 35. They're looking at their biological clock like, yo, but I gotta have kids. So it's like, when do I get to enjoy my spouse and enjoy marriage and what it looks like without trying to beat the clock too of having kids and having a family before it becomes a health risk?
So Brittany, I love that. But now, Brittany, I love that. But my question posed to you, how many women are foregoing real relationships to have their hot girl summers? And then when they are ready to settle down, or men or women, let me not just say women, how many women or men are really I want to have fun, let me do this. And then now when they're ready to settle down, it's like, damn, their biological clock is ticking, but you can't remove, like, you made certain decisions then, men and women, to not be in that position at let's not even use my age. I get I was very young. Let's use 28, 29, 30. You know what I'm saying? Like, you made decisions that you wanted to enjoy. That's cool. But like, why are we able to make decisions to want to enjoy and then on the back end feel pressure, but we made a decision to want to enjoy?
Yeah, but I hear you. But also, what happens if you want to enjoy with your spouse is what I'm saying. Like, I've had my fun. I've had my hot girl summer, right? Now I've found my person, but I want to just enjoy him, but I can't because I'm trying to raise time to have a family. It's very different when you bring kids into the picture.
Okay.
You trying to
So let me make sure I'm hearing what you're saying. You saying like, you can't control when you find your person, and then when you find them, you still want to spend that same time with them that you didn't get to before.
Right. The two of you still just want to be selfish with your
Got you.
bond. So,
Got you.
like,
Got you.
speaking
Got you.
from a personal experience, I'm right in that area in my life right now where
For sure.
I just turned 30. In the next few years, whatever, if I get married, it's like by the time I get married, I'm gonna need to be popping out some kids. Like, unless I just choose to wait until I'm like 40 or whatever. But for me, I don't desire to wait until I'm 40. What the hell?
Hey, what?
Oh,
I don't desire
Hey.
to wait until I'm 40. So like by the time I get married, it's like I'm gonna need to damn near get pregnant on my honeymoon. You know what I'm saying? Especially if I want more than one child. So, I really won't have that time to be able to enjoy my husband as a union and be able to travel and just live life before we bring kids into the picture.
Yep.
So let me ask this ignorant question. What's not societal, but like what's a real biological clock like timing? Like is that 35, 30? Like what
It's 35.
35
Basically, like after 35, women are it's a high risk. It's a geriatric pregnancy.
that's for
Call it
black women though.
geriatric.
For black women though, specifically, isn't it? Or is it all women?
It's
No,
all women.
it's all
Black
women.
women just have a higher risk of falling into some of those things that are categorized with it, like gestational diabetes, like all those things.
Got you. Damn, I don't know. I don't want to ask. I kind of want to. I'm gonna ask this question to give Tom Jay over there. Hey, look, COVID. All right, so I'm gonna ask this question. So Asia, pop back in. All right, this actually is pretty good to what we were just talking about. Do y'all think there's a perfect age range to meet someone? So let me explain what I mean. We have people on this that have met in their late 20s. We have people on this that met in their mid 20s. You have people like Lewis and I and Jay that met in our teen, our teen. Oh, there she go. Met in our teen. So let me backtrack before I ask that question. Asia, can you give your perspective on what you feel like the biggest sacrifice would be?
You're muted.
We can't hear you. Y'all can hear me now?
Yeah.
Good.
What was my perspective on the things that I would have
so
to
like
sacrifice?
when you cross over and say like I do, what do you feel like the biggest thing that you're gonna have to sacrifice when you say I do?
Similar to what Princess was saying, I think it's really just the response, the obligation, not like literally all the obligations, like the obligation to have to speak to somebody, the obligation to have to solve a problem with somebody, the obligation to like have to cook or whatever. Like it's literally the fact of I am now obligated to do those things. And one of the things I was thinking about is like I'm an introvert, right? So there are some times that the way that I handle problems, or if something's I am. So if something's wrong with me, right? Or if something bothers me, I know how I handle that. I don't like to talk about it right away. I like to identify the problem, see if I'm overreacting. I process it within myself. I need about 5 minutes. And then if it's not that deep, it's not that deep. I'm good. And then if it is that deep, I know how I process it. And then I go to my support system and then I say, hey, y'all, I was going through this thing. This is how I solved it. I know that won't fly in a marriage. But that's how I function. That's how I have been functioning. It's like the biggest thing that my friends have like an issue with when it comes to me is like how I'm not a vulnerable person at all. I feel like that will not fly in a marriage. And so that's something so it's the way that I solve problems, I guess, that I think.
So let me ask you this. I'm sorry. I'm very curious. I'm sorry, y'all. You know you're not a vulnerable person. That doesn't stop you from knowing that doesn't make you open up when you see fit, or you just can't control that you don't feel the need to be vulnerable to said person.
It's not that I don't feel the need to be vulnerable. I literally don't know how. So it's the same way of like I know how to share information. I can say this is what occurred, but then to then say it hurt me, right? Like that's foreign for me. So it's not that I don't want to, I don't know how to do it. So like and to be honest, I thought I was being vulnerable by saying this is what just occurred. I literally did not learn until maybe a year ago that does not mean that I'm being vulnerable. So I didn't even know that I wasn't being vulnerable. I thought I was very vulnerable because I'm like, everybody knows all the things that go on with me, all that kind of stuff. But then one of my friends, she said, Asia, you talk to me as if you're giving a report. I don't know how you actually felt about it, what the issues were for you, or any of the things. And I was like, oh. And then just being transparent, I went to therapy and my therapist told me, well, yeah, you're not a vulnerable person. And I argued down because I really thought I was being vulnerable. So it's not that I don't want to be. It's just something that I'm learning how to be because I didn't even know that I wasn't being that.
Wow.
Absolutely.
I got a question for Asia.
Mm-hmm.
You know how to cook?
I do know how to cook. What's interesting about that, right? So thank you for bringing that up. So like, I know how to cook. I don't cook often because I cook what I want to eat. So like if somebody's like, oh, can you make fried pork chops? I know how to do that. I never have a taste for fried pork chops, so I don't do it. I was a vegan for a while. So for me, I love cooking vegetables and plant-based food, which a lot of people don't, that's not their go-to. So when y'all were talking about food, I was legit thinking like, oh my goodness. Yeah.
When you said that, I was like, I couldn't, and when we
Right.
went to when we were all at brunch and you were talking about like how Brittany, like you like, oh, I just kind of use this time to fall back, like, kind of seeing you shift into that role and like that dynamic, that would seem like it would be a different space for you.
He trying to say,
yeah.
He trying to say you don't look like you can cook.
No, I didn't say that. I asked her, could she, instead of
He didn't
assuming.
say that, but yeah, I get intimidated by it. I do get intimidated by it because my mother didn't teach me how to cook. So I didn't have that luxury, right? And then I think I told y'all this before a while back. My senior year in high school, my dad was like, all right, you're about to leave my home, so I need to like prep you to like be wife ready, right? And so that's really when I learned how to cook. But then for me, my diet was very different than most at the time Black people. There weren't a lot of Black vegans that I knew. And so yes, I do get intimidated by it, but I know how to do it.
You were just vulnerable. That was nice.
Yeah, that was good, Asia.
You did a good job. You were vulnerable.
Thank you.
So I'm gonna forego that second question that I had, and I'm gonna turn it over to the ladies, Asia and Britt. I'm gonna turn it over to you, Britt, and you come up with the topic of the night.
Actually, Asia's gonna kick us off.
Okay, Asia, kick us off.
And the princess, what them fireworks at?
I think I gotta move my hands or something because that's when it started.
It's so interesting that it does that. For real, sure. I don't understand that function.
I don't know what's going on with this iPhone update.
Yeah. All right, y'all. So the first question that we had is pretty privilege a thing? Now, do y'all think that it actually exists? And I have a more specific question for the guys. Do y'all, if y'all believe that it exists or not, do y'all have experiences where it plays a role in like how you interact? Oh yeah, Keenan, I'm going there. How you interact with women that y'all deem beautiful. Like for instance, if there's a waitress, right, or something like that.
Lewis, what up?
She is beautiful. Do you tip her more? Like what does she have? Does she have a certain pretty privilege?
Yep.
That's a he said, yep. Hey,
I'm gonna tell you why though. I'm gonna say this. This is me being honest. There has to be a certain awareness of what you are. And Chris Rock said this in a joke. I don't necessarily agree with it, but in certain contexts, he was like, for every pound you gain, you better pick up a book. If you know you're limited, right? in
Yo,
in appearance, I think you should have more to offer. I feel like you can't be ugly and mean. You get what I'm
That's
saying? But
I
if you
strongly agree with that too.
so if
gotta
you're a waitress and you're pretty, like you're probably gonna get a little bit more flexibility. But if you ugly and you're a waitress, you better be good because you ain't getting that much flexibility from me.
that's true. That is true.
So
Yeah.
there you go.
So
Yeah.
I'm a everything Lewis said, right? We're going Earth like 3, this close to home. So yes, it is a thing. And I also feel like I'm gonna give you this different same type vibe, different scenario. Bartender that like, like she knows she pretty, she know how to serve drinks really well, she know how to talk to. Is 9 times out of 10, let's go 8. 8 times out of 10, she has that like confidence, right? So that's gonna make you move differently in what you do. So it's
Right.
like that's gonna make me pay more. You know what I'm saying? Like that's very like it is a thing. Now I will say this: I am very intentional about not using words like ugly or unattractive. I will say like not my type. So I don't really like play into if she's not quote unquote pretty, but like I feel like all the pretty privilege things or like all the things that come with women that have a certain look, like 9 times out of 10, they're confident, so they do whatever they're doing really well, which will cause you to do said thing. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Lord have mercy.
Uh,
Jay,
I,
what you think?
I'm definitely. I know for a fact it exists. The
So Jay, let me ask you this, Jay. Does a pretty
Asia,
stripper get more tips than an ugly one?
ask me a question. What'd you say, Asia?
Hey Jay, does a pretty stripper with a subpar body get more tips than a stripper that's not your type with a
Nah,
package?
nah.
Which one get more?
That body gonna get more. I'm not gonna lie. But and that's just my personal preference. I mean, I do think that it does exist for sure. And you're gonna pay more and all those things. I get all that, but I think it's a lot of women that don't even know that they have pretty privilege. Maybe because their self-esteem may be low, or because I've seen a lot of pretty women. You would talk to them just based off the conversation. You will talk to them, and then you're like, "Damn, she really like doesn't feel like that she looks as good as she does." And it may be because she has insecurities within herself or the environment that she's in. But I think it does answer your question.
Mm-hmm. I think too, like, so on the other side of that is a lot of women that go through pretty privilege. There might be some women that genuinely don't like that because they have to meet a standard all the time, or they genuinely want to be in a space where they don't want to use their advantages to move up. Example, CEO, right? If there's an unattractive woman that can check the boxes, she fulfills the role of whatever, but then a pretty girl comes in and her resume doesn't match, but her physique is there. She's a good look for the company. Now I have to, if she gets hired as the pretty girl, I now have to meet this standard of, okay, I have to do double of what the unattractive girl was doing because I'm pretty. I now have to hold this, right? And she just genuinely might not want to do that. What if I wanted to get hired for the job because I knew how to do the job? But instead I got hired for being pretty. I'm the face of the company. So I now have to learn these things and still be pretty at the same time. So I think it's a two-way street there.
But I'll even go this far.
I agree with that.
I even go this far. Like, let's look at the influencer market, right? Like, is that not a good example of pretty privilege? Like,
Yeah.
not trying to be funny. Like, a lot of social media influencers, like, I'm not saying they're not working. I'm not saying they're doing that, but you ain't gonna be no influencer and to the masses not meet a certain standard. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I feel like that market within itself is privilege. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, or you have to overcompensate in another area. Like if you're not pretty, then like your body got to be banging, or like you got to be funny as hell.
Yeah.
You gotta have nice teeth.
Or OnlyFans. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
aggression.
Listen, I'm being honest. It even exists in the corporate like culture.
Yes.
Like in leadership, like as you progress, like it's not a lot of ugly people at the top. You know what I mean? And unless you like started a company, but it's that looks. I shout out to my mom, man. I love this conversation. I'll never forget one day she sat me down and she was like, Lewis, she was like, looks will help you get places. It'll get you in some doors. She told me that. You know what I mean? She's like, it's gonna help you. So she was like, I'm not gonna lie to you and say that it isn't. But she was like, after that, obviously you gotta come with something. We gotta come with more than that. But she said it'll help. And she was honest. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It definitely
So like I appreciate that transparency. Like I think we fail each other as people and as human beings, and people we particularly care about when we don't have these type of conversations, because like I've been in sales, like it's helped me. You know what I mean? Like it's helped me. You know what I mean? It's helped me in management and in leadership at times. And I'm gonna be vulnerable, and I feel like in moments where I don't feel like I'm at my best as I get older and things change, I'm like, damn, like, as I'm like, if I gain too much weight, or if I don't look like I did in my early 20s, like, am I going to still be able to have as much success? You know what I mean? But that's something I consciously think about because I've seen it, firsthand.
Can I ask you a question on that, bro? No funny.
Yeah.
Like when you experience those things, and as the world turns, does that make you, outside of viewing yourself one way and you just express the feelings you feel for yourself, right? Does that not make you give grace? Does that make you give grace to other people that you may see or feel that's been going through the same thing, or no?
No, I look at it as an opportunity to build myself, to create a newer version, a better version of me. You know what I mean? My hairline go back. Okay, nigga, you could either get surgery or you get a bald head and grow a beard, and so it's like you got some choices to make. You know what I mean? Like it ain't gonna look like you're not gonna be able to pull that same look that you maybe had for the last 10, 15 years. We gotta figure another way to approach it.
Gotcha.
Interesting.
Because I just feel like in that conversation, and maybe this make me a little weird, but it's like that's what make me look at. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm being super honest. That's what make me not judge. Remember earlier in a former episode, we were talking about like women's like gaining weight doesn't make your face structure change, or like things you can look at people. Like those things that Lewis are talking about, which I experienced. Like I'll tell the truth. Like I always tell Jay and them, like I be funny. I'm like, I was the first nigga in our group to get fat based on what I used to look like. You know what I'm saying? So like when people experience changing, like whatever it may be, it make me give grace because I know what it's like to change something that you're not used to. You know what I'm saying? So like when I saw, you may see a childbirth, and then when you see a woman out in the workplace that may be that once upon a time she was that pretty girl that had the knowledge and everything, but she was that super pretty, what's the word I'm looking for? Trophy, like, whatever. Now it's like, I got you. It's cool. I don't view it the same way because I know what changes feel like personally, intrinsically.
Yeah, but that's still that weight is in your control though, to a degree. You know.
Say again.
I feel like your weight is in your control though. That's not. I think post childbirth, women's bodies change, and I've seen it firsthand. I think, but if you stay at a certain weight post that, I think at some point it's a choice.
So what I'm saying more so than weight is like, I hear you, but there's also things with people where it's in their control, but it's harder. It may be a little. So what I'm saying is like, for us men, like somebody going bald, right? Like your hairline go back a little bit, you ain't got too much talking room on. I don't care if you say weight in your control. She can be like, nigga, you ain't got no hair.
That's true.
So it's like you got to talk about that. Not you, but you know what I'm saying?
No, listen, bro. I'm dealing with that. I'm dealing with that right now because my hair meant a lot. My hair mean a lot to me. I had a 360. I had all these kind of different haircuts. You know what I mean? I got my hair cut every week. Now I get it every 2 weeks because it's like, all right, I'm holding on, but it's a reality. But in the seriousness, I'm seeing myself change. You know what I mean? I'm seeing myself get older, and I'm like, damn, like, okay, I'm gonna have to, the look that I've been using, I'm gonna have to change that up. Like, you know what I mean? That's a harsh reality to face.
That
Mhm.
is
That's a harsh reality. That's a harsh reality to
Hell
face.
yeah.
Like, because it's all I've known. And I'm like, damn, if I shave my head, like, will I look the same? You know what I
Mhm.
mean? You can't wear a hat to work.
yeah,
Mhm.
that's
And
true.
You know what
and
I
so,
mean? So
like, and the pretty, and so the pretty privilege in that, like, that's what it brings on, that fear,
Yeah,
right? Like, because you're
there it
so
is.
conditioned to living in this standard. Influencers is a great example. I'm happy you brought that up, because they always have to look a certain way, man. That's why women are doing all these body things or whatever. If they're doing it for themselves, great, but a lot of the times they're doing it to keep up with the masses. And it's like, okay, but I gotta stay pretty because I'm privileged, because I get X, Y, and Z. If one day I put on sweatpants and I tie my hair up or whatever, and I don't have on makeup and all the glamorous things, and I'm running to the grocery store, like, and somebody sees me out and I'm an influencer, a pretty girl, like, that's my brand.
hmm
People are gonna be snapping pictures. Oh my god, look at her, she looks so basic. Oh my gosh, she's this, she's that. Like, then it becomes very stressful. So yes, there's perks to pretty privilege, but there's also the stressors that come along with it, and that's that fear of, like, one day getting ugly, for lack of better words.
Nah,
and
I don't
for
know.
real.
I
That's a
think to
great
add,
point, Brittany.
yeah, that is a great point. Just to add to that too, it is a lot of stress um for those women, and I think that that's why they crash out so hard, because when you put all your eggs in one basket, and it's like I have to stay pretty because that's all I have to offer. Once
Yeah,
that was just like, damn, I have nothing else, valuable to bring to the table. So I think that's why they crash out so hard,
that's true.
and they do all that surgery. Like, to us, like, even looking at some of the celebrities, like Lil Kim, for example. I thought Lil Kim looked good back in the day before all
Yeah.
this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That was our opinion on that. But to
Mhm.
her, it wasn't her
That was
standard.
a
What
good
she was
example, Jay.
like. You said what?
That was a great example.
It
Mm-hmm.
was. It
Yeah.
is.
Mm-hmm.
To us, she looked, beautiful, but to her, it's not the standard that she wanted. And I think trying to hold on to that standard and transforming her body so much is now like we see a person that we're just like, whoa, it's it's crazy. You know what I mean? But in her mind, I guess that's the standard that she wants. But dealing with that stress, oh my God, I don't see how they do it.
Yeah, and I'll even speak to that a little bit too. So I think that there definitely is such thing as pretty privilege. Lewis, to
Mhm.
your point, and even Britt, what you were talking about with like CEOs and stuff. When I was in college and undergrad, we had done it was on like organizational stuff, and we learned that if there are two people that go into a company and one is more attractive than the other and they have very similar credentials, they will hire the one that they feel is more attractive. And that was like they had looked at different companies across, just different time frames, and that was the reality of it, right?
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Just because apparently more attractive people are deemed more trustworthy, you want to buy things from them, you want to get things from them, so on and so
Mhm.
forth, right? And that was the basis of that study. Um, and also, it is very stressful because, and what's interesting is like the standard of beauty. So like you do have like I think Jay, that was a perfect example with Lil Kim, because during that time, like everybody just had a pretty face. Like nobody really had a body like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then all of a
Mm-hmm.
sudden, then it was like, okay, now it's the big boobs. It wasn't even the ass yet, and then that
No.
transformed, and now it was the ass, and so now
Mhm.
you got some people that are now taking out, their the different surgeries that they've had, or trying to minimize them and stuff like that. And so it's interesting because then that also adds to the stress of then also having to keep up with the trend of beauty, right? I just want to share that.
And it's also what we're defining as beauty too, because like that is the norm. Everybody that's getting all that surgery, they all look the same. The same
Mm-hmm.
body structure, the same,
Yeah.
all look the same. But that is what the standard is for beauty right now. Those
Mm-hmm.
women back there in the 90s and early 2000s stuff, like you said, when there was none of that surgery going on, it was their face card. That's all they
Mm-hmm.
had. Either you
Mm-hmm.
had it or you
Hey
didn't.
Jay, and I'm gonna tell you why you speaking that fact, bro. Like even now, bro, like I didn't even see a little wrinkle. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't want you to be straight skin. I need to see a little wrinkle back there. You understand me? Fuck that. I need to grab
You
on
want to
something.
see some cellulite?
You understand me?
Yeah, yeah.
So I know it's real. So what that thing? Never
Ah.
mind. What?
Crazy. That boy crazy. Somebody get him.
What next question, man?
All right, next question. Moving it on. And I'm not going to say this piggybacks Keenan's comment because that's not appropriate. But the next question is, would y'all, so considering the hype around Nelly and Ashanti and all this other stuff, would y'all double back? Would you spin the block and get back with your ex if you thought that it was worth it for any reason? Or are you
If it
just
was
done?
worth it.
So and when I say that, so Princess, for you, what
Hell no.
what defines no, because you said it was worth it. So what defines being worth it?
No,
Jesus Christ.
yo, hey, so she just said her fucking they ain't worth nothing. Negative.
Hell no.
Get them out of here.
Far off.
So I think if time has went by and maybe you guys are still following each other on social media, or maybe you guys have kept in touch with each other in some capacity and you can see the growth, like maybe you guys dated when you were super young, years have went by, you've seen the progression in life, you've seen the person mature, then I think maybe if everything else falls in line, then you could give it another shot.
Okay.
Man, I'm a speak Earth 2. We on one. I'm gonna speak 2. Man, fuck no. And what so because the question is about like spinning the block based off my exes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
because I could take time back. I wouldn't even have no block to spin. You understand me? Like, I'm being real, like hell not. And this is the thing though. I think the thing about the couple that you brought up was just really well. There was a lot of time and growth that went by in between
Right.
spinning the block.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
yo, like nah, and that goes back to a previous thing, like people you don't want to claim. Like,
Yeah.
damn. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? It's just, and I think it's this. I think the biggest part is like this. If you were to be with someone and they finally became what you envisioned, but it wasn't with you, I think there's an opportunity there that will make your mind go like, damn,
Mhm.
that's what I saw. But like, if they don't do that, you understand what I'm saying? Like, because let's be real.
Mhm.
I'm gonna be honest. I ain't know Ashanti was gonna come out like that. You understand me? Like, ah, damn, ain't nobody see that.
Golly.
You know what I mean? No, because Ashanti went ghost from music for what, 20 years, 15
Yeah,
years?
Yes, she did.
And popped back out and wasn't even on no music joint. It was just like, look at me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, no, bro. It's just like Nelly did right. Let me not salute to him. He did what he's supposed to do. But I
Major.
also will have to ask, like, how did we end? Was it on some like I hate you, I hate me, I hate you, you
That
hate
part.
me? Like,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Was it on some like, this is not good right now? And it as quiet as it's kept, shout out to Lewis. I don't know if he said this on the episode or in conversation, like proximity matters. Like proximity is also where a lot of things happen. You understand what I'm saying? So like spinning the block could be a big part of like what you're around if that you and that person are in the same proximity, not only you and them, but like people talking around y'all where you get inklings of what's going on. So like all that plays a factor. But like me personally, never. I go shoot the block up.
God.
Ain't spinning nothing.
Jay Lewis.
I think for me, yeah, I would definitely spin the block, but it would have to be based off what Princess and I think you alluded to as well, Brittany. Like things got to line up. You know what I mean? And I think the Nelly and the Ashanti situation worked out perfect because they were on the same frequency wave at that time. Their compatibility. I think they have the same common goal now, or at least what it looks like. You know what I mean? And also just familiarity. Like when they know each other, and I think it's easier when you know somebody. to spin the block, but you also have to look at different things, like Keenan said, the way things ended. Because sometimes people will make the block not even exist no more.
No,
yeah, and that's cool too. But yeah, so I wouldn't recommend that. But yeah,
So,
to answer your question.
Can I ask a question? Do you think spinning the block is more likely with or without closure?
I don't know, bro. Because I mean, that's an odd conversation for me because I really don't need closure. Yeah, certain people, I don't need closure, but certain people want to have it almost like that Last Supper conversation. Like, we don't need to do all that shit. Like, we know what happened, and like closure for me is understanding that, it made bad timing. It could have been a lot of things didn't line up. I just personally, the closure thing don't work for me, so I don't think that would affect it. Yeah.
I'd say with closure, and maybe this is a female perspective because I need closure, right? I need to know why, like what happened.
Closure's not real.
Closure is real for the person that's feeling it.
Oh, I thought I was on mute. I'm sorry.
Very much is real.
I thought I was on mute. I'm sorry.
Get him. He got to apologize again.
I'm sorry.
Leave.
I'm sorry.
Brittany, your life matters.
Right?
I'm sorry. I did not, Brittany. I did not say that about you. You know what? How can I get him out of here?
Feelings can be validated, right? Through closure.
I was just joking, Britt. Come on now. I was just joking.
Oh, he backpedaling again, Asia. Go ahead.
I think
I really was. Hey, Brittany, I really was joking though. All jokes
aside. It's okay. It's all right. I mean, as long as I know that my feelings are valid, I know that I need closure for me, and that's okay.
Right.
and that would allow me, depending on what that conversation looks like, that would allow me to then spin the block if necessary. And I say if necessary because I'm with you, Keenan and Jay, in terms of how we ended, right? If it was absolutely terrible and there was no coming back from that situation, if there's an outside kid out here in these streets, like I'm not going back to that at all.
So let me add to that, Brittany. The reason why I say I personally don't need closure is how I view closure is when you have that conversation, I'm wanting the person to say what I want them to say in that moment and validate what I was thinking was happening. And I don't necessarily need them to do that because I know what was happening. So, for example, like, I think that I would be looking for closure if I'm like, well, the relationship went sour because, you want that person to be like, hey, take accountability. I messed up. I did this. And in reality, if a person is not prepared to do those things or even acknowledge that they were dealing with those things, I think that it would never happen anyway.
So I think, and so to your point, I believe closure comes only when there's a question to be asked, right? If both of you are in a space where you feel like things are going good, or if both of you are in a space where things are very much going bad, but y'all don't talk about those things, that's when I feel like closure comes in because there's still question marks. But if you're just not taking accountability for your actions, and I've been telling you this, or you out here in these streets and acting crazy, like then of course there's no closure that's necessary that needs to follow that for most people, because it's like I already got my answer. But if there's a question mark, then I'm gonna ask. I need that for me.
I agree. Okay.
Fun fact, I've never gotten closure on any relationship.
But did you need it? Did you feel the need to know why?
Looking back, yes, I did, but I didn't know that was a thing. Like, I think, like, specifically, not the even like the relationship before my wife, right? Like, I didn't necessarily go get closure. I knew it was over. And I think that because I knew it was over, I was just okay with transitioning the feelings out of, like, transitioning from the feelings versus hearing what she had to say. You know what I'm saying? And like, even with the thing I shared in the previous episode, like, I ain't really, like, I don't believe you no way. You ain't gonna tell the truth no way. Your ass lying. So why would you there ass anyway?
That boy still hurt.
That shit. You know what I'm saying? You said what?
He said that boy still hurt.
Still hurt.
No, not then. You know what really got me? Boy, that black tumbler. I'm gonna tell you what really got me. Then I'm like, oh, So I fucking wasted my senior year of high school, and we was whooping ass in basketball. You understand me? You know how much fucking
Hey, star
We were
player.
living the glory days.
you say again?
How many you average in high school? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Nah,
Hey,
nah,
hey, Louis,
nah.
you
I'm not reliving that now. I'm talking about closure then. I'm saying then, nigga. I don't even talk about that. Like, this is the thing. When your team was good for real, you ain't even gotta talk about it. So what I'm saying is like
It's just that let her in. Sorry, not to cut you off.
oh, I'm sorry.
No, you good.
What I'm saying is like honestly though, at the time, my only real regret was like, why did I waste my senior year? Then, not now. I'm just like,
I was averaging 20. I could have had all those.
man, come on, that's reckless, Lewis. Come
I
on, man.
had 10 assists. I could have had all the ass.
No, it wasn't even that. It wasn't even that. We were just good. We were just good.
I'm just listening.
But a young nigga mine says like, damn, I'm rushing out the locker room to go talk on the phone and cupcake. You see me?
Yeah.
I got you. I think one, I'm grateful that I have grown, but man, hell no, I wouldn't even entertain it. I wouldn't even entertain it. I've
Because of
evolved
what she used
some.
to look like.
Nah, bro.
This
You
man.
see me, but you know what? Y'all see me come out of that situation, man. Like we talk about having exes and stuff and all that, man. But that damn last one, boy, that shit taught me so much about me and how to prioritize yourself and not to spin the block when things are done. Let them be done. Like I learned so much from that, and I used to have so much animosity and disdain and regret, but I then learned to realize that through that situation, I was able to mature and really become who I needed to be in time to meet my wife. But I would not spin the block, and I don't need no damn closure. I don't need none of that. I'm good. And I think exes are exes. Some exes are exes for a reason. And yeah, that's my answer. I'm glad to be where I am.
Did Princess, did you answer that?
I was the first person to
She was
answer.
the first one.
Oh, my bad. It's just a long conversation. My fault.
Yeah. Asia.
I think let me see. Because it's not a straight no for me, right? But it will be based on what how do I say this?
How does he
I
get a
had
reply
fun.
back? Yeah.
Like I had fun with a lot of people that I dated, right? But what I was saying is like I'm getting like maybe I was going to spin the block, but not necessarily be in a full-blown relationship with them again. Like there are some memories that I have with some exes that I'm like, yo, we really had fun. You know what I'm saying? Like, and those are the things just because the people that I've dated, they're all very different. So I've gotten like very different experiences from dating. And some have been really, really cool. So for me, I would spin the block legit to have some of the experiences again, but not necessarily like be in a full-blown relationship with that particular person. If that makes sense. So yeah, that would be my answer.
Okay.
I thought Ken was gonna say something fresh, but he didn't.
No, he all right now.
Y'all ready? Y'all ready for the last question?
Oh yeah.
All right. What is your biggest sexual fear?
Yo, I'm waiting on Lewis.
He said I'm wow.
That's a good ass question, yo.
Biggest sexual fear.
Man, I've never had a fear there. That's crazy. Now you're making me think. I don't know.
Yeah, I gotta think.
I don't go into that situation with fears. I ain't afraid about what's to happen. What's about to go down. I'm like, hey,
it's about to happen.
I'm anticipating. Fears.
Damn, that was a good question.
I
I think I think I'm gonna be honest. If it was like a newer situation, yeah, I have confidence. Yeah, I got ego, but it may not work for that person.
Yeah.
So I would say, I would say that would be my fear if I had a fear. Is if it was a new situation. Um, I think, maybe this person, maybe it doesn't, maybe this person, maybe it doesn't work with this person.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a definitely agree with that one. I would like meeting somebody new. It's like you know how to please you think you know how to please a woman because you've been successful. But everybody is different, and you have to go and learn that person's body and what they like. You know what I mean?
I'm about to be too honest. What? Now keep going, Jay.
You know what I'm saying? You might have a woman that just wants you to just pound that thing. And you might have another one, she like it, sensual and all those different things. So I think that would be the biggest one for me. Is learning
I'm gonna be very honest, y'all.
what Putin.
Nah. Far from it. Far from it. You know my biggest fear, like honestly, like my biggest fear is like like this is Earth 98 shit for real. Like my biggest fear is like a woman wanting to try some shit I'm not comfortable with. Like, like it's going there, and it's like, oh yeah, oh, no, that's outside my realm of expertise.
Yeah.
Like my biggest fear is like like there's only been like it's okay when you with your partner. Like you can walk out the room feeling like when you with your partner, you can walk out the room feeling like, damn, who fucked her? Did she just get me or did I get her? You can feel like that in that case. But like my biggest fear would be like like it's just going too far. And I'm not sure if I want to experience these things that's happening. Like, oh, I'm not like nah.
Hey, she just flip you over.
Like there has and guys up here be lying. Like there's times where she's gotten the best of niggas. You know what I'm saying? Like
no.
You know what I'm saying? Like, damn. But my biggest fear would be like the exploration phase go further than where we was planning to explore. Like where I was planning to explore. Like
What you was planning to
explore. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like back to the conversation, right? Right? Like you what dudes don't realize is if you talk it up, you may be invested in a situation that's ready to get the return where you done hyped her up to come back to something that you may not necessarily be ready for. You know what I mean? She might be a
Dora the Explorer.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, that's my biggest fear though. Like I've been in a situation where it was like, yeah, I can't talk to you no more.
She probably try that Amazon position.
Nah, it was just more so. It was like this gonna sound so crazy.
Oh
hey,
my gosh!
Small talk. Forget y'all for the questions. No, the aggression level was a little too high.
The aggression level.
She want to smack you around.
It wasn't that, but the aggression level was a little too high.
She was in there smacking his
ass. Nah, it was just it won't none of that. It was just like, nah, I'm okay on that. Nah.
What was aggressive?
You gotta give
aggressive?
Yeah, bro. Tell us what it was.
You had to be smacking you around.
No. So first of all, fuck all y'all.
She was choking you.
Right. First of all, no, it's not. It was really like I learned this later in life, and the aggression is gonna sound stupid saying it out loud. It was just like a situation where like she was controlling the night, and I was just like, God, damn, like
she told you to pull your pants down.
Nah, it wasn't no shit like that. That's easy.
Put at me down.
Nah, that's easy.
It was more never be me to that.
Like I'm being so honest, yo. Like they asked the question, I've been so honest. It wasn't even that. It was just like I don't feel like talking back to ego and leader. I don't feel like I was leading particularly well this certain night.
I ain't never seen you. I've never seen you dance around a motherfucking question.
No, because
for real.
It's reckless, bro. Like I gotta be real. Like it was just like one of those, like, oh, like yo, like real talk. Oh god.
So what? Okay, so since you ain't slapping you around, was she telling you exactly
I'm gonna give you
how she wanted it? Like flip me over, do this. Like, was she talking to you like that?
Nah, that'd be cool.
Was she grabbing
What
it?
is it?
So,
Right.
so I'm gonna get. Can I give a difference?
Was it like this?
It was
Like-
Like this.
it was
So like
like it was like it was just aggressive, yo. It was just aggressive, yo. I don't feel comfortable with sharing the details. I'm gonna be
Hey,
honest.
she
Like,
told
I'm being
you.
super honest.
Oh,
Hey, can I tell you another one that was really uncomfortable though?
No,
It's
we gonna
not a
talk-
No,
fear, but
because
it
you
was
ain't
uncomfortable.
we want to hear about that one.
Yeah.
Yo,
She
the
told
like
you.
the first time. How was y'all first experience in a sex store?
In a what?
Mm.
In a sex store?
Yeah,
Straight.
I ain't really know what I was really looking for, but I was
Yeah.
in there.
I was
Yeah,
like,
Jay,
amazed,
Jay,
like a kid.
we're not gonna bring out we ain't gonna bring out story time, but Jay, you're not being honest.
What
You
is
remember-
happening?
No, Jay. Honestly, real. Can I tell the story?
Yeah.
Me at the time, we went with our some nasty shit that I'm saying out loud. But we went with our partners to a sex store, right? But like the stuff we were seeing was like, oh, we was young, bro. We was probably like what, Jay? 20, 21?
You talking about? Oh yeah, you can tell that. So we went to the sex store, right?
Yeah,
Dude was like sitting different toys and shit on the counter, like showing it to our women. Like, yeah,
hey,
you know.
hey, make sure you tell the part where you got mad when the dude was talking to.
Yeah, I got mad because the reason why I got mad because I was like, he was like, yeah, you know, this right here can do like 7, 8 different positions or whatever. Or no, he said it had like
No, he
7
said 7 or 8 different vibrations.
Yeah, I was like, my shit do too. Like, what you talking about? Like, you know what I'm saying? So I got so mad. Like, bro, what are you doing in here?
Yo,
Like, what are you trying to do right now?
yo, and the uncomfortable part, hey, honestly, the uncomfortable part is going to go watch what your girl is picking out. You like, you young. You like,
Hey,
You better.
hey,
what?
hey, imagine you in the sex store though, and like you got a regular size joint, and then your girl going over there picking up like
The King Kong.
home joint. You know?
Like,
Oh boy.
yo, hey, I swear, bro.
You gonna
I swear,
be in
bro.
there,
Like
bro.
the whole night, we went out to eat. This is a true story. We went out to eat, double date. We go da, and we walk in the store. And it was just like when we walked, like it sounded good all the way till we got up there. And then we walk in and they like, me and Jay walked through the door. They scatter like roaches, like, oh yeah. And we like, well, damn. Like, okay. And then like when we start going, it's like they say they get. I'm like, I'm not. How old were we, bro? Real talk.
We were, I don't know, 22.
I was still in college, so it couldn't have been. We was 2021.
Yeah, 2021. We was young.
So they put a rack of stuff on the counter, and the dude is like, okay, this yours, this yours, this yours. I mean, so at this point, we feel ineffective. Jay ain't gonna say, but we like at this point, we feel ineffective at this point. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo,
Clearly.
like, what's going on? And the dude, we standing back. Jay ain't tell the story. Right? We sitting in the back, and the dude talking to our girls like, yeah, this right here, 7 different vibrations. You turn this on and do this.
Definitely
And Jay was like, hey, motherfucker, so do I. Like, from like 5 feet behind him. I'm like, yo, Jay, chill. Like at this point, any aggression looks like we insecure about what we got going on. We got to
That's a fact. That's a fact.
like, and we roll together too. It's 4 of us in one car, so you know good and well we gotta be like,
hey,
together
look,
on
they
one
over there
stage.
smiling with their goodie bag. Like,
Y'all didn't get nothing?
yo,
you
bro,
said what?
Louis, can I
Didn't
tell
get
you,
anything?
bro, it was on some like we going
Nah,
past there late
I
at
can't
night,
tell
and we was like,
you.
ooh, stop there. We thinking this on some like candy, some like, but they
Lube.
obviously had conversation around what we got to do. And it was just like, ah, damn, bro. Like fast forward, now I get it, but like
Yeah.
then niggas was young.
Yeah.
I'm sorry how that turned into story time, Asia. I apologize.
No, that was
What was the question?
What is your sexual fear? Was the question.
How did we get all the way over there? That's wild.
Oh my God.
Oh man.
I think my sexual fear is probably falling in love with someone who doesn't please me sexually, or
Okay.
it just not working anymore. Which I you know, with age and stuff, like I guess, you know, at some point stuff stopped working as it used to. But
Shout
I
out to
guess
my boy EKG.
but That is one of my, like, sexual fears. It's like, what if it don't, what if it don't do what it do no more? Like that's.
Mhm.
Can I ask a question? Oh
Hold on.
my God.
Before you ask that,
Lordy.
how do y'all feel? This is for the women. How do y'all feel about erectile dysfunction at like 30?
Yeah, that's aggressive.
Yeah, that's
No, it's
yeah, that's what I
aggressive.
was gonna say. If it happens, you went out. Say it again.
I said it is aggressive, but I think that some of the women are saying that a lot of the guys are dealing. I don't know if it's because they popping all this stuff or whatever, but like, what's y'all thoughts on that?
That's scary.
It is.
That is scary at 30.
Yeah,
When I'm when I'm still working.
yeah, that's like your prime.
That's scary. That's for real. Like that's like deal breaker stuff.
Mm-hmm. And that's for single men and married men,
Right,
that's all the way around. Like you're not gonna find nobody if you're single, and then you don't know if your wife is gonna be willing to put up with that if you're married. So it sucks.
I got a very specific question, but Asia and Brittany, what's y'all fears? Y'all didn't say.
I'm not gonna say mine on this recording.
Wow.
Brittany,
So I can be vulnerable and speak my noise, but you can't. Wow.
I'm not. What I can say, I'll just piggyback off of Princess and say, like, I agree. That's my fear too. Is it not getting up, but more so like it being because of me. Like, is it because of, like
that's real?
All right. Is there a problem with me with something I gotta do or whatever? That would be what I could say on camera.
Okay. We'll hit you after camera.
Definitely. Episode ending in 5. Asia.
Mine not as deep as y'all's. It's that I bite something that I'm not supposed to, and then he reacts.
Please don't do that.
Jesus.
But you see, that's my fear. My fear is that
how you accidentally bite something.
You see all this shame that's coming up from y'all. Like I'm trying to be vulnerable.
No. I asked.
No, but
I said, how would you bite it? You said.
I don't know how. But in my mind, I'm just imagining, because what Keena was saying before, right? Like Shorty's mad aggressive, right? Like she was in it. She's like, I'm ready to fight tonight, right? And then it might be, I don't know, something, and I'm trying something that I've seen somewhere or heard that he was interested in. I'm not sure. And then I think I'm doing a good job. Next thing you know, I'm doing a little too much. And then boom, I injure him. And then he reacts to it in the moment where I think I'm doing something good. And I'm like, oh, snap, that just happened. And then he also reacts to that. Because I don't know. I feel like I would then have scarred him from ever wanting that type of experience again. Yeah, so that's my, yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. I can see that.
Can I ask y'all a question, a generalized question between me?
Yeah. Sure.
You know how like we were speaking on like how he may not live up to the expectations that he put out there, or like he may not, you know what I'm saying? Do you all feel like there's assumption that because men are pursuing and women are being pursued, and eventually when that moment leads up, they're given? Do you feel like there's an assumption that like it has to be good because she's giving it?
Like women don't have bad.
Yes.
Yes.
No. I'm not being funny. Like I feel like that's like for instance, there's a lot of beautiful women, right? A lot of beautiful women on the internet, right? That doesn't mean your sex is good. But there's an assumption around that. Do you all feel like because women are the ones that control that situation, there's an assumption that is good? It is good because they control it. Does my question make sense?
I don't think the assumption. Oh, go ahead, Bert.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I don't think the assumption is there because we control it. I would say the assumption is there for an attractive woman, to the point that you just made. I don't think it's about the controlling it part.
Okay.
I just think people generally think if someone is attractive, then like the sex will be good for the woman, or like same with like how the woman views the man. Like if it's a fine dude, like you're gonna assume that if you have sex with him, it's gonna be good. But
You know what I think it is, Keenan? I know this. I ain't a woman, but our sexual experience, the outcome 9 times out of 10 is going to be the same.
10 times out of 10.
Yeah, 10 times out of 10. Yeah. So but for women, it could. I'm not gonna speak for them. But
I get what you're saying. Though. I get what you're getting at.
But like, their outcome and
outcomes.
It's exactly
not guaranteed. Is for them.
Right. For us, it's the same. It could be bad, but we could still.
Got you.
And it's the same.
Yeah.
Got you. Okay. Got you.
I just had this conversation with someone too. What makes it bad?
Yeah.
If it's, I'm about to tell you.
I had the discussion that
Let me go on mute. Let me go on.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
I'm gonna tell y'all something. Blank. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
I'm gonna tell you something.
Consistent.
Yeah. So men, I can only speak for me. The human body has a temperature of 98.6 degrees, 96.8 degrees.
Lord Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna be real, like, the sensation of something wrapping around that warm is feels good. And the tighter that is, the better that feels. Mm-hmm. All right. There are instances where some women like are not as pleasurable in those two areas. Mm-hmm. And the thing I hate talking about the most, but it's 100% true: aroma.
Yes, I think that's the number one. Like the aroma. You know what I'm saying?
So, like doubling back on both their points. But the other side of it is just like, let's just say it is decently warmed up, right?
Like, why y'all laughing? It's true. That's true. Listen, when y'all see men, hold on, bro. I don't mean to stop. When y'all see men and they get in there and they like, man, it's gonna be a rough day. That's it.
Yeah. That's the one. That's the one.
But it's at the right temperature. It's like, woo, it's gonna be a long. It's gonna be.
There's been this. Asia, can I ask why you did that though? Like, you gonna tell me why you like?
I promise you, I have contacts in. My eyes are dry right now, so it was not. It was not at all at you. I was ready for the rest.
I trust you. So let's say it's like halfway warmed up. There are instances like, Jay, should I tell me the truth?
Yes.
Yeah, Lord, man. Yeah, bro.
Like, don't nobody want no pillow princess. Not literally Prince. I know your name Princess, but I wasn't talking about you. But like, y'all understand what I'm saying? Like, it could be bad when it's like don't nobody want no
when
corpse.
You're doing everything.
Yeah, like don't nobody want no corpse. You just sitting there and like doing all this and doing all this work, and you just like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, that's
so the experience is bad, not the actual.
So to Lewis,
it can be both.
It could be both. Like, I think there is a misconception that the same thing Lewis said could play against women. Yep. Like, because he gets off doesn't mean that you were good.
Right.
So it could play on the other way. So what I'm saying is like, I mean, bro, like, it's just.
That's what I'm saying. So aroma makes it bad. And then if your temperature and grip is what you're explaining to me is not. But,
listen, if you got those two,
but if you got grip makes it better.
For sure.
So what if your grip is just normal grip?
If it ain't no flowetry, you understand what I'm saying? If it ain't like, and that could be his fault. Let's not get it twisted. That could be his fault. Yeah. But like, there's some that's like, yeah, you need dipping in another bag. Like, that can go down to like, what type of medication is she on? What are you really doing to make sure that your flow is straight? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a thing that plays into it not being as good.
Yeah, but I can say this though, with like flow, I think you're referring to wetness, right? with
Thank
that.
you, Jay.
Oh yeah, I just want to make sure you want to say
Yeah. That's what we're talking about.
Appreciate
it.
Speaking Ebonics. So I think with that personally, that comes with attraction.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think the more it comes, obviously it comes with foreplay and stuff.
It's
attracted to you. I think it's gonna be a little bit more flowy. You know what I mean? Obviously, if the foreplay is up to par, it's gonna get it to where it needs to be. But I can't necessarily put that on them by themselves. But the aroma and the tightness, so to speak, is definitely,
You could not have moves, and that could be, you could still qualify as you could still be in that good cat category with just that.
You say you cannot have moves?
You cannot have moves. If the temperature is right and there's grips and all that, you can still be in that top category. For me.
Hey, I'm about to say, wow, man.
For me, you can still be in that top category.
Hey, Lewis, you gonna start singing to her? Oh.
It's just like, man, I'm afraid to go in there, boy, because it's gonna be a short day. It's gonna be a short day. Y'all know what I'm talking. Y'all know what I'm talking about. When y'all first,
bro. I swear to God, I'm not gonna say nothing else after this. I'm gonna tell you what's the hardest
talk about.
Lewis, when you gotta start thinking.
Like perfect storm. Yo, it's like, this dangerous because she could judge me.